This video is to take you through the Automata project. We're obviously going to go through this PowerPoint in class, but I want to make sure that I record a video presentation of it so that you can come back and access it for additional explanation as needed. The Automata project basically constitutes your final exam for this class, where we integrate a lot of the skills that we've learned throughout the year, and it is due by the last day of class, which will be Thursday, June 3rd at 8:15 a.m. In the event that I need to submit my grades before that time, then that due date will be adjusted, and I'll give you all the notice that I possibly can about it. At the time I'm recording this, we haven't been told when our date for final submission of grades is. You may complete it earlier, and you are encouraged to do so. You may work on any aspect of this project from home if you do not feel like your class time is sufficient to complete it. The final product will be a working automata. Using the materials provided, custom design 3D printed components, and materials you supply from home, you will design and assemble an automata. You will be provided with materials for the top, bottom, and sides of the automata, including the back, should you choose to have a back, dowel rods to use for the axle and follower, and glue for the assembly of those components. You will be required to 3D design at least the cam or cams for your automata if you are opting for more than one cam. The guides for the followers, those are pieces that you put on the top of your automata to keep your follower from wobbling. It keeps it like straight so that it will go through the hole and rest on the cam, because in real life, when you have a little bit of space, that follower will move around. And so the guide helps it move straight up and down, and the handle by which to turn your axle. Extra materials and 3D printed objects are possible. You may also bring in materials from home that you think will be useful. You don't have to, but if you have stuff at home that you're like, I really want to put this in my automata, you can. And you have access to paper, markers, scissors, and other basic supplies in class. Ask if you have ideas for other things that are not mentioned here. You will submit your design notebook with the required elements in addition to presenting your final automata. So I will be grading your design notebook as we go along through this project. I've broken this down into 8 phases, and you can move more quickly through these phases if you desire. In fact, I would move through them as quickly as possible while making sure that you do everything in each phase. Phase 1 is initial design and concept sketching. So you'll go online, and that is a typo. It's fantastic to see that now. And look up videos or images of automatas. Pay special attention to ones that have been done by IED students. So if you can go on YouTube and look at like Introduction to Engineering Design Automata, you'll see stuff that students your age have done and produced in their classes. You can look at some of the like professional ones, like there are people that make these things for a living, but to kind of get an idea of what you should be aiming for with this project, look for ones that are done by students. In your design blue book, brainstorm at least 3 possible theme ideas for your automata, minimum of 3. Think about things you personally like and enjoy and how they could be easily animated with an automata. Choose one idea and create an initial sketch of what you envision your automata to look like. Please keep it simple at first. Keep the project manageable. We haven't done this before. Last year we went remote learning, so my students did not do this project. So keep your ideas simple. As you progress through the design process, you can add details or elements to make it more complex, but make sure that you have the basics down first. Decide what kind of cams will give you the motion you desire and how many cams you will need. Again, keep it small. Don't try to design something with 5 cams at first. When I did this for my class, I had 1 cam. We were just going to try to get 1 cam to work. I would keep it simple, but you can certainly have more than 1 cam if you would like. And what you will turn in for phase 1, you'll take a photo of your brainstorming work, your initial automata sketch, and I kind of want to hide there we go. Hide that for me. Your initial automata sketch and your cam sketches, and upload it to Focus under phase 1. That will be worth 20 points. So I need to see your brainstorming. I need to see your initial sketch of your automata and the sketches for what you think your cams should look like, and upload that under phase 1. Phase 2, getting specific about the dimensions. Using the supplies provided, create a more detailed sketch of your automata that includes the specific dimensions. So as opposed to a concept sketch, this is going to be one of those dimension sketches. It is to be done in your blue book. It must include the overall dimensions of the box. So what size is the box? The dimension of the wood thickness, the dimensions of the axle and the followers, which are, when we did that all out of like one piece. So the dimension that changed was the length of it. The length of the followers, the size and location of any holes, and the specific dimensions of the cam, including the size of the hole in the cam and the thickness of the cam. Make sure that all of your pieces are labeled with your name. We're going to try to use the ones that were busted out of the packages last year, so they might have another student's name on it. Erase that student's name or draw a line through it. Make sure your name is on it. To turn in for phase 2, you will take a photo of your detailed sketch and upload it to Focus under phase 2. That will also be worth 20 points. Make sure you have all of the dimensions on it that you need. Phase 3, building the essentials. Clearly mark on your wooden pieces where you would like them drilled and confirm this with me before turning them in. Not sure at the time of this recording how I'm going to get all of them drilled, but I'll figure something out. But make sure that I am clear about where this hole is supposed to go in your piece. Design your cams in Fusion. If you have more than one cam, then design each in a separate file because that's how they're going to print. Some of you learned from the accessories project that when you have more than one piece in one file, that when they go to print, like we are restricted in how we can rotate them on the build plate. Save them with your last name and the name of the cam. So if you're Eva, you say like Badger Cam 1 or Badger Heart Cam, or and then save them as a .stl file and then email me those files. To turn in for phase 3, you're going to give me your wooden pieces for drilling and your cam files for printing. I need to get those from you. For phase 4, building the finer parts, work on the details of your design. It's going to take some time to get all the cams printed and to get everything drilled. So while that is happening, you're going to work on the finer elements, background pieces, scenery that you might want in the background for your automata, guides for any followers, and that you are required to do. You will design that in Fusion and we will 3D print that. So that is something you can work on. The handle for turning the axle, also designed in Fusion and 3D printed. Make sure any files you send me include your last name and the name of the part being printed, and please allow sufficient time to print your parts. It does take time for me to get all those files imported into MakerBot, and then obviously it can take quite a while to print them, especially if I have lots of pieces that I need to print. To turn in for phase 4, any parts you send me to print should have corresponding sketches in your blue book. So I should see a sketch of your guide with the dimensions. The sketch of your handle with the dimensions should be done in your blue book. Take a photo of these sketches and upload them to Focus under phase 4. That is worth 15 points. Phase 5, putting it together. Once all the pieces of your automata are designed and constructed, so you have your box, it's got the holes, you've got the follower, we've cut the dowel rods, or we've done whatever we're going to do with them, we've printed your parts, then you are ready to put the automata together. Do not expect this to work the first time. Just saying, we've done enough stuff to know that it can all look great on paper, and then when you go to put it together, it turns out something doesn't fit. Your topper, which can be something you bring from home, it can be something you 3D design and print, it can be like, whatever you decide to put on the top of your follower, like it doesn't stay put. In your blue book, document anything that did not fit or work correctly and what you will be doing to fix the problem. Include any revised sketches, include notes on specific changes to your design. Notice that there's a whole phase dedicated to it not working exactly the way that you intended it to work. We want it to work. We don't have any delusions about that. So turn in for phase 5. Take a photo of your blue book documenting what did not work and how you will fix it, and upload it or them. Like if you have multiple photos, you can take a photo of all of it to Focus under phase 5. That is worth 15 points. Some of you will have a lot of revisions. Some of you might only have 1 or 2 revisions or things that you want to add. If everything works perfectly, 1, that's awesome. And 2, then I still want you to add something. So if you're fortunate enough that everything worked the first time, then add something to it, add a component, add a piece of background scenery, add something to what you've designed to make it more complex. So that's what you would be turning in phase 5. Phase 6 and phase 7, revisions and refinement. For phase 6, complete the revisions that you outlined in phase 5. So basically everything that you said you were going to fix, now you need to go and fix it. Send me any revised.stl files clearly named. So if your cam was too big to fit in the box, like please don't do that. But if it's too big, then send me the revised file for the cam. Rework any other pieces that need revising. For phase 7, time permitting. So phase 7 is kind of like an optional phase. If you have time, make your automata look good. This can include painting or coloring different pieces, creating a background if that wasn't part of your original design, or adding a component to the box. If you have time, then take some time and really make your automata like something that's going to wow somebody. There is nothing to submit for phases 6 and 7. So by the time you get to this, basically it's just, we need to get this done. We need to get the pieces, the refinements, the fixing, like that's what needs to get done. And I'm not going to require you to turn anything in for that. Phase 8, presentation and feedback. So you will create a Flipgrid video, minimum of 3 minutes. Okay, it can't be any shorter than 3 minutes. And I'm going to put a 5-minute cutoff on it. So you can't go any longer than 5 minutes, where you showcase your automata. So you will show your automata to the class via Flipgrid video. You'll hold it in your hands and take a video of it. And hopefully turn the handle and we'll watch something go up and down and we'll watch it work. So a description, your presentation has to include a description of your automata, its theme, and what it does, or notice this, what it was intended to do if it does not work by the time you get to phase 8. Because we're realistic and you might have some things that go wrong with it that just are not fixable before the end of the school year. I expect you to try to fix them. But it's possible that we get right down to the end and you have to do your presentation, which is worth 20 points in your grade, and you still don't have a working automata. So if it doesn't work, you're going to explain your theme, your concept, and what you intended or envisioned for this automata to do. What aspects of your design changed or needed to be revised during the design process? So from where you started to where you ended up, what did you have to refigure out? What you would do differently if you had to start this project from scratch. So based off what you know, having gone through the process, having done the designs, what would you conceptualize or do differently? And your assessment of how well it went and what grade you would give yourself if it were up to you. How hard did you work? Were you diligent? Did you use class time well? Did you make it through all the phases? What was the final product like? And then to turn in for phase 8, you will turn in your Flipgrid video, and you're going to create a video response to one other student's automata. So as your presentations are uploaded to Flipgrid, then you'll be watching some of the other presentations. You don't have to watch them all, but watch 1 or 2, find something encouraging, find something positive that you can say to a classmate, and you create a video responding to them. Has to be positive. You have to have both of those components, and that is phase 8. All of this is going to be kind of freeform. You're going to be working at your own paces, but certain things need to be done on a specific timeline because things need to get done. So I need the pieces for drilling by the end of the week of the, what day is today? By the end of the week of the 17th. So I believe that would be the 21st. So you need to be at that phase no later than the 21st. And then you will have those components back and be able to begin assembling them and doing the revisions on them the following week. As always, you need to ask if you've got questions. You need to be proactive. If you find that you're falling behind, then you need to be working on pieces of this at home for homework. And the entire thing, unless I find out something different about when I have to post your grades, is due by the 3rd. So hopefully this video does help, and you can come back and reference this as needed.